Started. Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming to this final session of 3 training sessions for the 311 upgrade, which is happening November 15th, the night of November 14th. So when you come in on the 15th, we will be upgraded. Okay, so that's the day to pay attention to make sure that you have us on speed dial via email or phone if you have any issues. My name is Kat. I'm the Membership Engagement Specialist for PAILS, and my training today is going to be focused on the OPAC. So there's only one really major OPAC change that we want to go over, and that's the Did You Mean search suggestions. Now, Did You Mean has been available on 3.7, but it was only single term search suggestions. And with this most current version, 3.11, it will be multi-term search suggestions. So you'll be able to put in word, like more than one word, like a phrase, for example, that depending on if it's in the dictionary that the system uses to produce search suggestions, it will produce a 2-term or more search suggestion. After I go over that, which is like the new part of it, I'm going to do a search overview. So sort of like, I guess it's some stuff you might already know, some stuff you might not know. If it doesn't apply to you, feel free to drop off after the Did You Mean? And I'll also be going over a few search tips in general for using the staff catalog, because as a reminder, the traditional search the catalog will be going away when we upgrade. So again, more reminders, if you want to check out 3.11 right now, you can go on to the test server, the link of which is here on this slide. We may have to update your account, so if you're not able to get onto it, just let us know. And again, overnight on the 14th, you might need to re-register your workstations. And again, let us know if anything is wonky at support@sparkpa.org. Okay, Did You Mean? So Did You Mean, if you're not aware, is the evergreen name for the tool, like for example, on Google, where if you misspell something, it's going to provide you with a suggested search so that you can then click on that search and it will automatically pull up results for that, so it's kind of like, and it's not always if you've spelled something wrong. Sometimes it's if you've entered a phrase that doesn't necessarily return search results. So they're going to offer you something that, like, maybe you just need to rephrase it in some way that's more friendly to the search. So for our evergreen 3.11 version of Did You Mean? And I'm going to be showing examples of this, but I just want to go over some of the like bits that, like, how does it work, basically, like the different facets of it. So for ours, it's going to offer suggestions to you when there are 0 hits for your search. So if there is 1 hit for a search result, for a search term, you will not see a Did You Mean? So even though there's only that 1, it's not going to offer any suggestions to you. And it's only going to offer you the best suggestion that the system can find based on relevance. So how many times does the term show up in the bib records? And there are different other ways that our records are weighed based on like relevance and popularity. So that's where it's going to offer you the best suggestion out of what are possibly many suggestions. The suggestions are going to be offered from the authority record for fields in the same search class, which basically means if you're doing a subject search, it's going to offer you a did you mean subject heading. And I'll show you what that looks like. And the suggestions it offers have to appear in at least one of the bib records in our catalog. Suggestions are going to appear in the same casing as the original search. So if you search all caps, it's going to come back all caps. Even if you've spelled words correctly and there are 0 hits, it still is going to offer you suggestions. So again, it's not necessarily misspelling only. It's going to be just like, here's a way that you can actually get a hit on this. And for our settings, the maximum suggestions it's going to offer for each word is 5. And that's probably pretty rare that that will actually happen, but that is the maximum. It's usually going to offer like 1, 2, maybe 3. Okay, now I'm gonna get out of here and up here. Okay, so just review of our staff catalog.
Do you want to hear it from mine and you can watch it? Okay.
Somebody, let me try to mute everybody. Okay. So staff catalog. This is the new version, the Angular version. It is pretty much the same as the traditional one, just looks a little bit different in terms of adding search rows. You have the pluses and the minuses, and for the filters, you'll toggle them with this 3-dot tower, and then you can highlight the different filters as you wish. And I'll just reset that if I want to start over. Okay, so to show example of did you mean, I'm going to show you one where I am going to spell it right, but there's 0 hits. And don't, you can see my screen, right? I'm like, okay. And also the searches were taking a little bit longer than usual. So please, thank you for your patience. So this is an example of did you mean. I put in the term subject self-loathing. Now that is correctly spelled. It's just not in our catalog. It doesn't appear in any of our bib records that way. So it's going to offer me this alternative. And when I click on that, it's going to throw it right into another subject search. And then it's going to show me the results. So that obviously has way more results than if I tried to use the term I originally tried. I'll show you if you search in all uppercase and I spelled it wrong, it's going to return it in uppercase. Just something to note. And so lowercase is going to return it in lowercase. So did you mean business? I'll click on that. It'll take me to a much more successful search. So I want to show you a few other things of how this works. So I'm searching for author James Patterson, right? And you'll see that Patterson is spelled wrong, but because our catalog does have that name spelled that way in more than one bib record, it's not going to provide a did you mean, it's not going to provide the accurate spelling of James Patterson. So it's one of those things, it gives what we put into it. So if we have some records that are inaccurate in any way, it's going to probably not work as best as it could. So just something to think about. And of course, over here on the left side, we have the facets. So if you did want to click into any of those facets to refine the search, you can do that over here. Right. So I also wanted to show you, so this keyword search for Paddington Bear has 2 search results, therefore did not offer me a DigiMean. And even though it's spelled wrong, in a keyword search, it's the entire record is being searched. So it's not just title, it's not just author, it's not just subject, it's the entire record. So if we look in this record, we're going to see right here that Paddington is spelled this way in the record. And it's also spelled that way somewhere on the other record. So both of these are going to show up in the keyword search.
So,
and this is yeah.
I was just going to address a couple of the questions from chat, but I don't want to interrupt.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was not looking.
So, excellent question from one of our astute cataloging committee members. If you do see something that is spelled wrong, like the 15th whatever it was, the 15th victim, that is definitely supposed to be Patterson with 2 T's, please do feel free, if you have cataloging privileges, to go ahead and correct it. If it's something where you don't have the item in hand, and so you're not 100% sure that it's not James Paterson, no affiliation, then that would be a good thing to either send to us at support or send to the cataloging committee list. I'm sure much hilarity would ensue trying to track that one down. And then this is something you can show, Kat, is so if you're not searching the whole Spark database, if you're searching just one system or one location, can you show us how that's gonna display?
So because there's this one record, that's a hit. So let's see if we do this.
Everybody's got a Paddington with one.
Everyone.
Yeah, I would say, or pick a small location.
So in this case, there are no hits, and it's not showing me a DigiMean, and that is probably due to the system.
There are other results in the database.
Right, yeah. Right. So if we scoped further out, we have results, therefore it's not going to offer us any suggestions. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, but I wanted to show you, this is a good example of, if you're able to search like the title, the author, the subject, the series, you might have a more successful search, just because it's more specific. That's definitely one of the biggest, search tips that I have today, is just be as specific as you can. And, if you obviously not too specific, because that could result in a big old nothing. But in this case, you see that if I search Paddington Bear in the series, because it's searching that series field, that it's like the 800 field, it has this suggestion for me because there were no results in that 800 field in our database. So it offered me the correct spelling of the series Paddington Bear. And now I have all my Paddington books. All right. So that actually is Did You Mean in a nutshell. Are there any questions about how that works or scenarios that you want to ask about or try out? In the meantime, I'm going to go back to some slides so I can show you the next part of my presentation. So as far as search tips for the catalog, for Evergreen in particular, I know maybe a lot of us were taught at some point, whether it was elementary school, middle school, librarians, about Boolean operators. So searching for this term and like big capital letters and this other term. You don't have to do that in Evergreen. It's implicit. So if I search for like destination wedding, it's going to search the word destination and the word wedding. So that the and is implied there. And it's also going to search for destination wedding together as a phrase. Punctuation and capitalization in the search box are not critical. So if you have like an extra white space, like you press the space bar too many times, you add a period, you add an exclamation point, it's going to give you the same results anyway. If you do alternating case, it's going to give you the same results as if you spelled everything in all lowercase, all uppercase. In that same vein, the search word order doesn't matter. So I could do wedding, destination, destination, wedding. It's going to show me all the same results. Again, be specific. If you want to search for an exact phrase, use quotes. And what I mean by that is if I want, let's say I need Paddington Bear to be in the title. So there's no results. Let's see, what's a phrase that I could use? Maybe destination wedding. Not series. Maybe keyword. So by entering it this way, I'm asking the catalog to return only records that have these two words together exactly as I've entered them between these two quotes. So if there's something that, if you're having a hard time with the search, this might be a good way to find exactly what you're looking for and get more specific with it. Oh yeah, and then you can truncate. I think this is something that I think has also possibly been taught in schools, but just as a reminder, if you want to truncate a word, you can add an asterisk. So like if I'm searching this, it's going to give me Mexico vacation, Mexican vacation. It's going to like take into account all those different variations of the word. So I think one of the other like big examples is environment asterisk. So environmental, environmentally, it's going to give me results for all of those. Eventually. Another thing to take into account, environmentalist. There we go. Environmentalism. So if you need to kind of take a concept that might have a lot of different ways of describing it, truncation with asterisks is a good way to do that. Oh yeah, and while I'm at it, I want to show you I could put Mexican vacation with an exclamation point, and it's going to show me the same 37 results as if I don't have that. And I can put a bunch of white spaces, and it's still going to show me the 37 results. So don't worry about it if you are not the best typist. All right. Oh, another thing. So if I'm searching, the system does something called stemming, where if you have a word, it's going to actually be searching for the root word rather than the entire word. So like, for example, me searching dogs, it's going to search dogs, dog. It's going to search for all, like, it's going to kind of take that end off and just search for that root. Lene asks, what about changing to contains to start with? Well, that's grayed out here.
Might have to use it for like the title or the author.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So starts with, title starts with, here. So it's only going to show me titles where it starts with the word fear. Whereas if it contains the word fear, let's see if no one will save you. Like starts with.
Yeah. And then stop there. No one will.
No one will.
We might not
No
have
one.
it cataloged. Also, that's probably not a good example. Sorry.
Did you mean Orchestra New England? Interesting. Huh. Yeah. I mean, I've mostly just been using contains, and that seems to be working well. But yeah, I mean, does not contain. I actually haven't had great results with does not contain either.
What I would say is that's really useful for if you have multiple lines there. So like you have author contains Patterson, does not title, does not contain murder. So like if you wanted to eliminate, like you wanted to look at an author, but you want to eliminate everything from a certain series. So I don't find it helpful as a primary search criterion, but as secondary or tertiary, it will, as you'll notice, slow down the search. The more, especially it does not contain, it's got to chug through a lot of data, a lot of bits there.
Right. Right. Yeah, I think this is what I was doing when I was testing it earlier, and the system was kind of like, it took a while. But yeah, that's a good tip. If you're looking to, okay, author contains Patterson, does not contain murder. What am I seeing here then?
Not.
Oh, Patterson
Deborah, you're seeing so much. So there's a lot of James Pattersons that have murder in the title.
Mm-hmm.
So you could do, like, if you knew that it was a Patterson author, like if it was Deborah Patterson, but you couldn't remember what her first name was, you could do author contains Patterson, does not contain James, and it would take a long time to run. But yeah. So
But yeah.
to answer questions about why you might want to use those matching restrictions.
Yeah. There's probably infinite ways you could use it. But yeah, that's a good question, Lene. All right. By default, it's going to show the results in order of relevance. And like I mentioned earlier, relevance is determined by a few different things, weighed by like, circulation, how many times the term appears, all kinds of things that are kind of like behind the scenes. But if you want to change your search results to show in a different way, you can just click on sort by A to Z, or if you want to look at publications newest to oldest, so you can get the most recent of the search results. You can do it that way. And if you do a search like this a lot, don't forget that you can save this search template and you can call it whatever you want, like author search, anything you want to call it that will help you remember what it is so that you can use it. You can easily access it here in your saved templates. That's a really good way to save time. If you've clicked any of these boxes, like limit to available is going to give you only results that have available items within. You can also save that as part of your search template. Same with group formats and editions. So that will group books together. It'll group DVDs together in your search results. And this will give you results from all libraries if you want to add that. Right. And then also, do not forget that you can change your search preferences. And this is probably what you would want to do first before you even start a search. You can choose your default search library so that you don't have to come over here and find it every single time. And this is like a setting that will be saved with your workstation. So if you ever have to like reset, like, or clear your cookies or your cache, this could be, you could lose this. So just be aware of that. You may have to reset it. And then you can choose your preferred library, which will show you copies regardless of what library you are searching. So it's always going to show you your preferred library, even if there's, so that local copies show up first. You can choose your default search pane. So probably most would want the keyword search, which is what we were just using. But if you're a cataloger, you might want a numeric search, which allows you to search by record number, ISBN, UPC number. So that's just another way to save time, so you don't have to come in to search the catalog and toggle to these different tabs. You can land right on your preferred search pane. The default search results per page is going to be 10, but you can make it whatever you want. So if you wanted to have more search results per page so that you could browse through things maybe a little bit faster instead of having to click through so many pages of search results, you could do that here. And and note that there's no save button for this. It will show you in this little toast that the setting update has succeeded, this little green box. Exclude electronic resources will exclude electronic resources from your search so that you don't have to wade through electronic resources when you're in the library trying to help somebody find like a book on the shelves. And then I can return easily back to my search that I was just doing. Okay. I think if there's any other, I mean, so with the search results, you know, you can place a hold from the search results right here. If I click on any of the, if I click on the author, it's going to take me right into an author search for James Patterson, for example. If I click on the title, it's going to take me into that record where then I can see all the different holdings. Also, I can see the holdings if I click on show more details. That makes it so that the search results are a little bit more detailed and you can see what library, call number, status, instead of having to actually click into the record to look at that. And the search results are also showing you how many items are available, where they're available at, record number, how many holds, who created the record, and who last edited the record. And yeah, I think that's covered it. Oh, staff tab.
So open any of the records.
Staff view. Where is that? Oh, yes. Staff view. What was this? You want to say? I mean, this is so the hold and copy counts are on here. The formats you can easily see
So
listed out.
prior to this update, if you wanted to see like how the publisher information is going to display to the patron, you had to click through to the patron view. So this it's just kind of a summary view of various information about the record, all kind of pulled from those tabs into one place.
Very convenient. Record notes, holdings view. Is there anything else I'm forgetting?
Are you going to do the advanced where it has the extra?
Isn't
like
this
shelving location and?
Oh yeah, she
like
did show
this?
it really quickly at the beginning, but
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. So instead of like having to go into advanced search, like you just click these little three buttons and then you can highlight, you can hold the shift button down and highlight multiple, or the control button if you want to highlight ones that are like not adjacent to each other. Oops. And then you can reset if you need to reset. I think probably what most people will use this for would be shelving locations.
So and it is where we have the development to add in the resource sharing groups is underway. So those will also be, there will be a new combo box, I think is what it's called. So for those of you who have resource sharing groups that are currently in the OPAC but not in the staff catalog, that's where they will be added.
Awesome. And this is also where you can specify if you want to look for an item with a certain publication year or a publication year before a certain year or after a certain year, you can also do that here in this advanced search. Patron view is going to open a new tab. With ChiliPack, it's going to look different than this, but that is how you get to the patron view, where you can see all the Synthetix Unbound information and other information that will help you further your search. Place a hold, add holdings, all that I think is the same. Oh, upload. I won't talk. Back to results takes you right back to your results, although I think now it's confused because of all these different filters I've selected. So yeah, I think overall search results are a little bit easier to navigate with the way that they're set up in this version. Any questions? Okay. We can stop recording.